Hey, well, greetings, folks. Ed Downs here with you Sunday evening. This is November 12th, 2023. And, I'm not in my studio, I'm actually at home. And the reason for that is the office is kind of far away. I've been working on this presentation after what we discovered on Saturday. Really wanted to get it out to you, so I didn't want to wait till Monday to record it. I'm going in and doing it here so I can get it out. Yeah, so welcome to my home. This is where I live. And anyway, it's a really important presentation for our TRADEnosis owners because, gosh, we have been doing a lot of work on this platform. And this presentation tonight is about kind of what's happened with it, what we've been discovering, and where we are right now, plus what we plan to do in the future. So sit back and relax, and let me take you on a tour of TRADEnosis 2, harnessing the power of machine learning to trade the stock market. So, after releasing TRADEnosis in February of this year, we began monitoring it very closely. And the way we did this was by trading the signals directly into a platform called Collective 2. So, we go here to that slide. You can see that performance from there until now. And at first, it looked great. It was beating the market, things were good, but then it started going sideways while the market was advancing. So, we're going, okay, what is going on here? And so Steve was looking at it, we were looking at it. Is it something about the model? Is something happening? We made new OmniTrader strategies. We tried things like clustering the recommendations, and you've seen those reports that we put out, and plus the strategy updates we did. But it just kind of eluded us, going. So right in here, Steve and I were saying, okay, we've got to figure this out because AI is so important to all of us. I mean, certainly to our TRADEnosis subscribers, but to us as well. So what do we do with this? And so Steve really got out there and looked into the market and what's there and what we could use and what was available, and really got locked into this machine learning paradigm. And actually, it's called Auto ML, where you have intelligent processes that work on your problem to solve it. And where we got to on Saturday was amazing. I originally thought I would put this update out on Friday because I know where we're going, and I was explaining it in a paper I wrote. But Friday afternoon, we started seeing some very interesting changes in the output that Steve was running, and it looked better and better from a sample problem that I did for him. And so we waited till Saturday morning. We got to this amazing point that I'm going to show you here in a second. So this is really recent. I mean, this is yesterday, okay, that I'm going to show you. All right, before I do that though, this is a flowchart of how the TRADEnosis system is set up. And Steve did work for 2 years on this, really, really hard, with a specific model that he chose. He wrote 5,000 lines of Python code to connect all these things together, this pipeline process. And because it's so complex, that's really made it hard to figure out why that performance dropped off. So we don't really know. And so as a result of that, the other thing that happened though that I need to mention, to the data vendors that we use in TRADEnosis began just not providing the data. So that was the other issue that happened more recently. But in about like so the summer, Steve started looking at these other models. And so as a result of his research, we believe that these new machine learning tools with a much more simplified data feeding them will enable us to build a simpler and much more robust system that we can deliver to all of our TRADEnosis subscribers. So this presentation is a window into our work as of yesterday, Saturday, November 11th, and I can't wait to show it to you. So the idea here is to take OmniTrader with what it has, the ability to produce these measurements that we've had in the GA, we've had in the NN. We just haven't had a good AI system to run on those measurements. Now we do. So the idea is to take them, pipe them to the machine learning system, and get predictive signals out of it into OmniTrader. I'm going to show you how that works next. Really exciting stuff. Okay, so what I did for Steve is I said, all right, you need some good inputs, good measurements, features. Those are synonyms for the same thing. In AI, they're called features. And so I'm going to do that on a very simple problem and give it to you. And let's see what the machine learning can do on that. And then we'll move forward to more complex features. So I created a set of data based on 28 oscillators. I'm sure you know what an oscillator is. It's indicators that go up and down in a range. So like RSI, stochastic, CCI, I chose 28 of them and basically measured them from the GA. Now, we're not using the GA for training, but it is capable of measuring all this stuff and producing a file like this one that has them all in it. So gene 1, gene 2, gene 3, gene 4, which correspond to indicator 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So each of these is an individual oscillator and the data for it. So the thing that OmniTrader is doing right now, it's not running the training, but it is generating the file of measurements to feed to the AI. So that was what I did for Steve. He picked up the ball from there and drove the machine language program to train on this data to see if he could get predictive signals from it. Okay? This is a screenshot of his screen running the AI process on the machine learning model or package that he's using. And you can see all these different AI models. You can look them up, on the internet. They're all great. XGBoost and CatBoost I'm familiar with. I have used Random Forest. It's fantastic. But what this does that we haven't had before, this is really new, is the idea of an ensemble. The ensemble can look at the output of all of these models and create a prediction based on the consensus of them. I'm not sure exactly how it does it, but the result is pretty impressive. So we have these different models generating 0.8, 0.81, which is like 80%, 85%, 86%. The combined ensemble is 91. So that's clearly better. This is the game changer, folks. I'm telling you, this is such a more predictive system than we've had access to before, and it's very easy to run, to actually deploy. So that's basically what he's doing. And one of the important things about AI is that you have to look at the features that you're feeding it and let it tell you which ones are the most important, which ones really matter to the outcome. And so in this training, what we're doing is saying, okay, look at every single oscillator, and at every point, every day, go 5 days out in the future and measure the profit to there. So that's what it's looking at. And so every single one of these, it's saying, all right, well, which ones correlate to actual profitability in the chart to the most extent? And it found that gene 4, which is indicator, oscillator number 4, and gene 2 were the top two, followed by gene 17. These are the ones that have the most predictive nature. So this is important because later we can just drop out all the ones that don't matter much. All right, so this is important that the AI is doing this, and just want to show it to you because it's a big part of the process. Okay, so if we move on here to the actual training and the output from it. So again, OmniTrader's not involved here. It's made the file, the AI is running on it, and as part of the process of training, it produces this output file. Okay, so we're running on the symbol QQQ, which is the NASDAQ 100 ETF from 2015 until the present day. And so this is, the output from it. After it's trained, it looks at each data point with that model and says, all right, on July 14th, you had a buy signal, a buy recommendation. July 15th, a buy recommendation. July 16th, a sell, and so on, all the way to the end of the data from 2015 until the present. And so we have this file, right? Of course, excuse me, once it's been completed, it won't be a file anymore. It'll be passing the data internally, but with a file, we can, do our prototyping here and figure out what we've got. So I took that file and I said, all right, I need to see this in OmniTrader. Here are the signals, basically. So I need to feed it in. So what Constantine did, he's our amazing programmer who's done so many great things for the company. He's very quick, very smart. He did this like in a few hours. I said, Kose, which is his nickname, can you please give me a system that can read this file and give it and generate signals just like the TRADEnosis system does, but from a file. So he did that, and this is what it looks like over like the last, 7-8 months. And you can see these are the predictions, right? That file. And it's great. I mean, all these signals are really correct. Look at this short firing before, at the end of an uptrend, firing before this, then short, 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 long, long. And this is really, really good stuff. And so if we look at, that's just like the last 8 months. If we look at the whole period, we can't, actually, this isn't all of it. This is 2019 to the current. We started 2015 to current. And just look at these signals. They are fabulous. In fact, when running it through OmniTrader, again, this is a signal with a 5-bar exit. That was what it was trained to. They look great, and the actual accuracy over the entire date range, 2015 to now, is 80% accurate, which is much higher than what Steve was getting from the prior model that he used. 80% accurate, 2% profit per trade. That is phenomenal. And especially when you consider that this was just using those 28 basic oscillators and a fixed 5-bar exit. We have a lot more features we can feed this thing and much more sophisticated exits. So that is phenomenal. I'm so excited about this. Now, one thing to note here is that all this training, normally we'll use a back test and a forward test. This was done using a split data process that Steve Mayo explains on the next slide I'm going to show you. And so it's a little different, but there is out of sample data that is, pulled off to the side from within in this whole set here. So it's a valid test, but not quite the same as what we're used to. Okay, so what we're now doing from this test is expanding on the features, more complex features, and Steve is working with the parameters of the machine learning package to minimize the effect of changing markets, because we think that's part of what affected us with TRADEnosis after we started using it this year. So that's one of the things that we're looking at. Okay, this is from Steve, an actual quote by him. Let me go ahead and read it to you. Of course, I'm Steve right now, right? Of course, this run was just one symbol, but it points out the power of the new software and the significant advantage of being able to use OmniTrader's original AI tools to generate the inputs or features. It's still preliminary, and there are things to resolve. For example, like any trading strategy, you need to train on one set of data and test on another. This example used a process that randomly splits the data into 2 data sets. That's in contrast to how OmniTrader uses a fixed period backtest forward test. Of course, you can use a fixed period test with AutoML, but recent market behavior seems to be different than what we saw prior to 2021. So, part of our investigation has to do with understanding how to adjust the model to compensate when the market changes character. And that's right. Okay, so that's one of the things that we're working on in addition to using the AutoML and using OmniTrader to generate these inputs. Okay, the other thing that we're doing though, and this frankly is a game changer, is using ChatGPT. I don't know if you've used this thing. There's actually a free version of it. We're using the subscription version, which is ChatGPT 4. And, I actually have a transcript here from when I ran my little sample problem through it that I talk about in the write-up. And it's amazing. You just literally talk to this AI and ask it questions about what you should do, what you want it to do. It'll do it for you. It gives you the answer. It's like this, I don't know, guru thing, AI buddy. I don't know. It's wild how powerful this is. So as a result of having access to this, and Steve and I are both using it, I'm using it to get more familiar with the models and understanding it better so I can assist where I'm able to. Steve is using it to configure the AutoML models that he's using, and he got really far very quickly when he started on this, again, culminating in that result that we got yesterday. So we're really excited about it. ChatGPT is definitely helping us. It's a game changer. So where are we with this? What's going to happen? The fact that we're using OmniTrader to generate these measurements is significant. Let me tell you why. We have some really smart people in this group. You know who they are. They post in the forum. They do amazing things, and everybody just goes, oh my goodness, that's way above my pay grade. And so we're just very blessed to have these power users in our group. And I am sure if they have access to the stuff that we have access to right now, and they can drive the machine learning algorithm with their own inputs, their own measurements from OmniTrader, we're going to see some amazing things happen. And I'm sure most of them will share what they did with everybody. We're going to provide canned solutions for the whole group, just like TRADEnosis did. But you'll be able to see exactly what's driving it, of course, because it's OmniTrader. But I think that because of the mastermind that we have here with our TRADEnosis subscribers, it's going to get pretty exciting pretty fast. So I am personally very excited about this path, using OmniTrader to do this, because we have control of everything and we can adjust and move forward rapidly. So what we're going to do is continue to keep you informed as we go forward, and it's not going to be weeks and weeks before you hear anything. I'm going to try to get an update out weekly. It could be 2 weeks depending on what's going on, but we're on a fast track here. We've got the technology. The data's significantly simplified coming from OmniTrader, the features, and this model looks really, really awesome that Steve has found. And there were a few others he's going to test, but so far, with what we have right now, that one looks really, really good to me. So we're on a great track here. And, I just want to say thank you for joining the TRADEnosis effort, becoming a part of the team by joining the beta with us. And I just can't say enough. This is so important to us, not only because we want all of our TRADEnosis members to be excited and thrilled about what we have and getting good results in their accounts, but because this is an important aspect of what we're doing for Nirvana Systems. We need a good AI platform because we are the automated trading solution company. And so it is critical that we execute on this and get a good solution out there. So what I'm telling you is we're focused on it and we're going to make it happen. And again, I just really appreciate you being on board with us as we do it. Okay, so I'll go ahead and wrap this up, and we'll keep you informed and watch for news coming up in the coming weeks as we push on the AutoML platforms and add more sophisticated features in the training. So can't wait to see what comes out of it, and look forward to sharing it all with you. Thanks again, folks, for coming tonight. Appreciate you, and take care. Have a great week. And you'll be hearing from us soon. All right. Thanks. Good night.